Hello pilots and welcome back to another X-Wing flight video brought to you by Out of Arc Gaming. As always, my name is Phil and today we have a classic Clone Wars matchup. 20 points of Clone Wars goodness on either side going at each other to see who is going to take victory. The mission for today is a Scramble the Transmission and we have Madbots and Scott on the table. Joining me on commentary we have...
James here, gonna try and stay impartial, but I do like the Republic more than Separatists. So we'll see how my commentary fares.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do play both factions, but I am quite partial to the Republic. I don't know why, I think that's a really good faction.
For me, it's got Jedi, especially here. We'll get into the lists, but
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
On those clankers.
Yeah. On the subject of lists, did you want to let us know what Madbots is bringing to the table?
Yeah, so Madbots has the Republic list today. He has Anakin Skywalker with Malice, Patience, Marksmanship, and Autoblasters, alongside his master Obi-Wan Kenobi with Patience, Marksmanship, Autoblasters, and R7A7. Then we got some clones for the rest of the list. We got Wolffe with Marksmanship, Ion Torpedoes, and R4 P17, alongside Matchstick with Expert Handling, Ion Cannon Turret, and R4 Astromech. And finally we got Broadside with Ion Cannon Turret, R4 Astromech, and Seismic Charges.
A really cool list. It's nice to see arcs on the table. I know we had them on the table when we did the Siege of Coruscant, but it's nice to see arcs and etters. And obviously this is an extended list. If it was a standard list, you wouldn't be able to put those Autoblasters on those Jedi. But it's cool to see them there. And on the other side, we have Scott running the Separatists with triple Nantex and dual HMPs. Those Nantex are Sunfac with Gravitic Deflection, Ensnare, and the Target Computer. Chertek with Crackshot and Gravitic Deflection, and Gorgol with Gravitic Deflection and Targeted Computer. Don't know why I always struggle to say that. Gravitic Deflection. It's a weird one. We then have the Onderon Oppressor HMP with Chancellor Palpatine and the Repulsorlift Stabilizers. Then rounding up the list, we have DGS 047 with multi-missile pods, Kalani, and the Repulsorlift Stabilizers. So some side-slipping and tractor beam action coming from Scott's side. I will quickly point out that, unfortunately, with the large tokens, we don't have that many tractor tokens, so pretty much any orange token that goes down on Scott's side is going to be a tractor token, and some focuses may actually be calculators, because I need to buy some more, so I'll be putting in an order for those before the next tournament.
Yeah, it's an interesting list Scott has with 3 Nantex.
He was always very partial to the triple Nantex, especially before 2.5. It was one of his most used lists with those, because they were, I mean, at one point Nantex were incredibly powerful until the change to the tractor rules where you couldn't tractor someone onto an obstacle or off the board.
Also, now tractor beam, the opponent gets to rotate.
Yes, they get to take a stress to rotate 90 degrees, which actually in a game against Scott's Nantex helped me out immensely. He tractor beamed one of my B-Wings and I went, okay, I'll just turn 90 degrees and get an amazing range 1 shot on your Nantex then. So it actually worked out in my favour, but yeah, tractor's obviously taken quite a big change from the initial start of 2.0, which has made them not quite as effective, but still really good tactically. I mean, reducing the agility of your opponent is always going to be helpful, especially against these Jedi. Like, anything he can do to slow them down is going to be massive.
I'm curious to see what Scott decides to use Palpatine on.
Yeah. So, Chancellor Palpatine, obviously it's a dual-sided card, so equip this side face up. After you defend, if the attacker is at range 0 to 2, you may spend 1 force. If you do, the attacker gains 1 stress token. During the end phase, you may flip this card. You also get the purple coordinate as well. Very expensive card at 14 points.
Yeah, but that purple coordinate can really help.
Oh yeah, massively. And then the other side, Darth Sidious, after you perform a purple coordinate action, the ship you coordinated gains 1 stress token, then it gains 1 focus token, or recovers 1 force. So that can be quite handy if you've got it with other force users.
It's also very good alongside the droids, because normally they can only calculate.
So it gives them some extra modifications there as well. So that is going to be quite handy.
And also, you can't normally coordinate this an action that they've already done. So they could calculate themselves, you coordinate them to target lock, and then give them a focus as well.
Yeah. Which, again, double modding anything, focus is obviously better than a calculate.
Right, which lets you choose which one you want to spend.
Yeah. Oh, what's that? I've got 1 focus there, I'll use the calculate. Or I've got 2 or 3, I'll use the focus. So the options it gives you is going to be very powerful. Another card that I quite like on Scott's list is Kalani. That's actually quite a fun card as well. So after an enemy ship executes a maneuver, if it is in the bullseye of a friendly ship at range 0 to 3, you may spend 1 charge. If you do, that friendly ship acquires a lock on that enemy ship, then gains 1 stress token. And that's 3 charges recurring.
I like that. Oh, yeah, he's recurring. I didn't realise that. Yeah, I quite like that Kalani's ability isn't just for the ship it's on. It is a commander, so it makes sense for it to be for allies, but yeah.
Those tactical relays do tend to be more widespread than just the ship that they're on, which is quite cool. It'd be nice to see a variation of that for other factions, but who knows? Maybe in the future we'll see cards for that. But it's going to be good, and especially because it's bullseye, that's going to really help with the Nantex, as their main forward arc is only a bullseye arc. So it can be quite powerful for them as well, if he can keep them within range 0 to 3. Looks like we've got Sunfac at the top going wide out to try and catch those Jedi.
I don't know that he wants to.
Yeah.
Like, yes, Sunfac is, initiative 6, he's a good pilot, but against Anakin and Obi-Wan, I don't like their odds.
Yeah, it's a very risky play, especially only for Hull. It's a choice, not necessarily the choice I would expect. Maybe Sunfac is a little bit of a bait, or maybe he'll
you
pull
can
in.
lure the Jedi over there and then swoop in with the rest of your forces and catch them out of position. Great.
Yeah, but there is the system phase boost from Obi-Wan there.
System phase repositioning is very good. It's very good if you just have it as a ship ability. When you start having to buy upgrades to do it, it's like, well, I could do this instead.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain config cards like sensitive controls for your interceptors and also the silencers, which do make it quite fun. Obviously, that then becomes a standard card, so if you have multiples of that chassis, you have to all have it. But it can be really good, especially if you've got other upgrades that pair well with it. The main one, I think, is Trick Shot. If you have, say, Blackout in the silencer with Trick Shot and sensitive controls, you get behind an obstacle for your shot, and then in the system phase, you can barrel roll away from that obstacle next turn. I think that's absolutely brilliant. But I always forget about system phase stuff unless it's bombs, because I very rarely use them. As we saw in the Siege of Coruscant, the amount of times I forgot that I had system phase stuff was rather embarrassing, to be honest.
Yeah, it's interesting because Scott technically has bombers, but he doesn't actually have any bombs.
Yeah, they're definitely more.
In fact, the only bombs on the field are Broadside with the Seismic Charges, which could be very good in this scenario.
Yeah, because those obstacles are obviously quite close together down at that bottom, and that looks like where all the action is going to be. It's going to be tricky for Broadside to really get right in there to make the most of that, though. But if he can get there and drop a Seismic Charge, that could be very devastating for Scott.
Looks like, is it DGS, which probably stands for something, I don't know what it is, has claimed that first objective for scrambling.
Yes.
And I wonder if that might give Scott the edge, because he's got admittedly the same number of ships as Madbots, but Madbots doesn't want to be using Jedi actions to be claiming objectives most of the time, I think.
Yeah, I think that's...
Especially with how frail they can be, like, they always really want some kind of token.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things when you have those ace ships. They don't really want to be using actions for capturing stuff.
But at the same time, they're very good for capturing stuff because they do move later, which can completely negate what your opponent's just done.
Absolutely. And I mean, as well as with the Jedi, they can be really fast. So if they were able to get to an objective before their opponent, they could capture it early and then score some points there. I mean, with the objectives, this is a very interesting objective placement, all on the same side, right down at the bottom of the board.
Yeah, along with all of the obstacles.
Yeah, it's a very unique placement. And what I do love is that they did it this way to the camera, not up the other way, because that would have just been frustrating if all the action was at the top.
Yeah.
But I mean, anytime I set up, I tend to go opposite side. But yeah, it does mean that a lot of action is going to be happening in here, and yeah, looks like Wolffe and Matchstick are just going, yeah, we're just going to go straight in. There is the Kalani trigger with Gorgol. Getting that target lock on Wolffe. It's a shame there's not Chertek there instead, because that would have actually been more beneficial, because he's the only one of the Nantex that doesn't actually have the target lock action without having targeting computer.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I think adding targeting computer onto the Nantex is so good, because that's... Obviously, target lock is very good, but the fact that they don't have it natively...
Yeah, getting an ability that you don't normally have is so good.
Well, I mean, the Nantex only has focus and evade natively. It doesn't have anything else. Yes, obviously it's got its pinpoint tractor array ability that's going to allow it to do other things, but it's just, its action bar is very minimalistic, and giving it that target lock for 1 point is, I think, just great. And obviously you couldn't fit it on Gorgol because he doesn't actually have a modification slot, so you couldn't put it on him, which is a bit of a shame.
Gorgol does have a lot of tokens, though. I mean, he's facing down 3 pretty decent clones.
Yeah.
But I don't particularly feel like he's going to get away unscathed. Sunfac, on the other hand, might be in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, currently it looks like he's in arc of both Obi-Wan and Anakin, so that's not a nice place to be honest. But he is using his shenanigans, which I'm going to bring up. So the pinpoint tractor array You cannot rotate your arc to your rear. After you fully execute a maneuver, you may gain 1 tractor token to perform a rotate action. And obviously, when you gain the tractor token, you can do the boost here, which gets him out of Obi-Wan's arc.
And gets him behind the cloud for Anakin. So he's in a much better spot now.
Yeah. And obviously, some fact also has the ability, while you perform a primary attack, if the defender is tracted, roll 1 additional attack die. Obviously, he's got the tractor at the moment. But in Snare, at the end of the activation phase, if you are tracted, you may choose 1 ship in your turret arc at range 0 to 1 and transfer 1 token to it. So we can't do that right now, but that is... like, those abilities just pair up so well.
Yeah, especially on Sunfac being Initiative 6, like, getting that engagement phase tractor beam off straight away.
Yeah. Plenty of evades there for Sunfac just to ignore Anakin's shot.
So then Sunfac is... oh, he's shooting Obi-Wan, okay.
I think it's a good option.
I mean, it's not obstructed, it's closer, yeah.
Yeah, not obstructed, it's slightly closer. Maybe can... that's not a green dice. Oh, so far so good. Yeah, spend that focus, but that's 1 hull down on the Etta. And it is, yeah, it's a crit as well. Which is a weapons failure.
I mean, at least it's not a direct hit.
Yeah.
Although weapons failure, still not a great one.
On an Etta 2 as well, when it's when it's only bullseye arc 3 dice, that is very damaging. Like, it's not nice at all to have that. But you're right, a direct hit would have been way worse, or even a fuel leak would have been just.
At that point, you're playing much more defensively with Obi-Wan, which you don't really want to be doing.
No, I mean, he's got a nice position there with Sunfac coming into the board. Obi-Wan can come in round the back because the arc can't go to the back. Anakin could potentially do a sharp turn to come in the other side of that obstacle, and they can just really wipe Sunfac out.
So it looks like we're going down to the bottom of the board?
Yeah, so this will be Wolffe, I anticipate.
Oh, not the best defense roll for Gorgol.
No, that was actually on DGS.
Okay.
Obviously, looking at all those tokens on Gorgol, it's like it's going to take a lot to get through that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If he can get rid of Kalani, that's actually going to be probably a better option, because giving those target locks out.
And this is something I've done in many games, is sending a ship forward, using the action to claim the objective, then not having any tokens for defense.
Yeah.
Which is what DGS has done. Granted, in this scenario, I think only 1 ship is shooting at him, but something to be wary of.
Just checking to see. It looks like, I'm not a big fan of using the laser, but it looks like Scott might have threaded the needle there through the objectives. The obstacles, sorry.
Oh, to see if it's obstructed or not.
Yeah. I mean, that is impressive.
I still a range 3 shot.
Yeah. And which is evaded. So Wolffe absolutely fine there. But one thing to note as well, with those HMPs, they actually have the 180 arc. So it's just such an interesting thing to see as a 180 arc.
And you go, oh, maybe I can barrel roll out of... Wait, no, I can't. Not from here, at least.
Yeah, you've got to do some serious shenanigans to avoid that arc, and then they can as well side slip, which is really good fun and not actually seen on many ships. So that
I wonder if they're going to split up with some side slips, because there is a bit of debris in front of them both. But
yeah,
Palpatine's ride can't really go to its left.
no. Oh, that's shields down on Wolffe. Really good attack there from Gorgol.
I mean, it's the same thing that happened with DGS. Wolffe, I think, used his action to claim that objective.
Yeah.
So it has no defensive tokens.
It's where obviously claiming those objectives becomes dangerous. You want to get them for those points.
Right, you'll gain 1 point per turn as long as you keep hold of it.
Yeah.
If you lose Wolffe, I mean, how many points is he?
Wolffe, I believe, is 5 points.
He is 4 points.
4 points. I mean, that's for an arc.
Like, you gotta hope that if he goes down, you at least keep hold of that objective for another 3 rounds to at least make it even.
Yeah. But at the moment, it's 2 points to 1 in Scott's favour because Chertek is hiding the fact that he has claimed that objective at the top as well. So, good early start for Scott there. I think he'll be quite happy with getting some damage onto Obi-Wan and stripping the shields off Wolffe. If he can focus fire Wolffe down, that is going to be a huge boom because that forward and back arc can just make it very tricky on that arc.
I'm curious to see what happens once these ships start to get a little bit closer together.
I mean, one thing I can almost guarantee is there's going to be a lot of tractor shenanigans.
Yeah, that's the main thing I want to kind of see happen. Like you said, Scott liked using these Nantex and he's brought them back, so I'm hoping for big things.
Oh, he did go to ship right with DGS there on the side slip.
So weird that he's moved sideways and bumped, and now he's still facing that debris.
Yeah.
Can it side move again?
No, so when you side slip, you actually do have to flip it. So
yeah, so he's maybe well, I guess he can sort of bank or do a sharp turn down to the field.
He could do a
For moving closer to the Jedi, he's now kind of turning away from them.
I mean, he has got that 180 arc, so it can still catch a bit there. But with the
I mean more for like next turn. He's got to fly away from them, unless he wants to just go straight over the debris, I guess.
I mean, with the Repulsorlift Stabilizer, so on the inactive side, reduce the difficulty of your straight maneuvers. After you fully execute a maneuver, you may flip this card. So he basically gets a 1 through 3 blue and a 4/5 that are white, which is insane. And then the active side, after you reveal a bank or turn maneuver, you must perform that maneuver as a side slip, then flip this card. After you fully execute a non-side slip maneuver, you may flip this card. So you don't have. Ooh, there's a bump.
Mean bump. Potentially that means that who's the other one? Matchstick. It might have also bumped.
Yeah.
But yeah, that side slip is it's a weird one, but an interesting one.
Yeah, it's a fun maneuver to do, and I've seen it used to good effect. And I've used it a couple of times when I've used the HMP. Sort of a case of, well, I've got it, I may as well give it a go. And it can be really good. And it's confusing to do, because like sometimes you'll do that, you'll make it almost, you'll place your token down as though you're doing a side slip, because obviously you're trying to avoid having to remove ships. And then you're like, oh yeah, I actually have to put it that way as well. But I mean, in theory, looking at it, if DGS wanted to, he could just do a stop next turn. Yes, it's
oh, true. No, because you still have to do the straight maneuver. No, you just have to fully execute a maneuver to flip the repulsors. Yeah, that could work.
And technically, a stop is fully execute the maneuver, and you can flip it again.
with the 180 arc, yeah, he's pretty happy sitting there. Yeah.
And then if he wanted to clear the stress, he could do a 2 side slip, or if he's not so bothered, he could just do the 2 bank, which is white.
Yeah, I like this move from Madbots, having Broadside go sort of be a bit more bold, but playing it a little safer with Matchstick just in case. That's very good.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, I don't know. Is there arc? Yeah, that's an arc, isn't it?
So Gorgol is definitely an arc there. It's the only ship in arc currently. But I do like that move.
Although it's interesting that he has opted to turn around because the arc does have a rear arc.
It's more guns in the front though. It's 3 in the front, 2 in the back. So this way he's gonna get 4 dice as opposed
really
to 3.
Wants that Nantek's dead, doesn't he?
I mean, I don't blame him. It's a good source of points, and once Gorgol's down, I mean he's 4 points. So once he's down, that means he then can come away from that board edge and actually start focusing and supporting the rest of his Jedi.
Suppose so.
That tractor beam can be just horrible against arcs and Y-wings because they only have 1 evade. So if he gets that tractor beam on either of them, then anything that shoots it is just pure damage.
Who has the... Oh, Broadside has the Seismic Charges.
Yeah.
He's currently the furthest from the middle of the board, where the asteroids are. But hopefully he can get in and do something with that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see the Seismic Charge go off. It's always fun when you get a good Seismic Charge.
Oh, there's the tractor barrel roll that's not technically a barrel roll.
Yeah. And that's from Chertek.
Wonder if that's trying to just get in the way of Anakin.
If it has, that's a great place for it to be.
Because I am wondering where these Jedi are going this turn.
I mean, I actually thought Obi-Wan was probably going to go a bit faster round, but actually I think I quite like that too, because with Sunfac having to move, if he'd have done the 3, he'd have been a bit further down and potentially lose the arc, but that is weapons failure repaired on Obi-Wan, which... He's
only got, what, 3 in the bullseye, isn't it, for them?
3 in the bullseye, 2 normally. He can get the Autoblasters off as well if he's lucky. And that was...
the Autoblasters normally not allowed, but this is extended.
Yes.
So Autoblasters is if the defender is... Well, it's normally normal arc, 2 red dice, range 1 to 2. But if the defender is in your bullseye, roll 1 additional die. During the neutralize result step, if you are not in the defender's main front arc, evade results do not cancel crit results. And Obi-Wan, in particular, is loaded up to do crits.
Yeah, Marksmanship and R7A7. And didn't bump Anakin, but Anakin is...
I was a bit worried it wasn't quite close enough.
Yeah, Anakin is also in a nice position. Again, Autoblasters with Malice and Marksmanship. That is going to be brutal. And
which one's Malice? While you perform an attack, you may spend 1 force to change 1 hit or a crit. 1 focus or hit to a crit. Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense to pair that with Autoblasters.
And then I believe if the opponent draws a ship critical, you regain a force.
Or crew damage card, you can recover 2 force.
Pilot or crew, yeah. So that is really good, like spending Malice to do that, and then if they get that, you get that force back. It's like, amazing. Again, with Marksmanship as well.
Some just moving.
Yeah, some facts like, nope, I don't want to be there anymore.
I started going for the Jedi, and then I remembered they're Jedi. And whilst they did land a crit on Obi-Wan, I don't want to keep trying that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go down here and try and help Gorgol.
I mean, he's got 4 ships now that could. Chertek's arc. Sorry, Gorgol's arc is pointing up, so he's got 4 ships there that could just rail on Wolffe there and get rid of him. And if he's got range 1, that arc is in the front. I think he's got range 1, so he could ensnare Wolffe, and that is going to be bad times for Wolffe. I mean, he will still get to shoot because it'd be extremely unlikely.
Yeah, although he did lose all of his shields previously.
Yeah, so he's got 6 health, so unless Sunfac manages to get 3 direct hits in, or a very horrible combination of like fuel leak and direct hits and hull breaches, should survive it. But he is going to be at 1 evade. And yes, I will be getting some more tractor tokens.
It's fine. We know they're tractors. We say at the start. It's a tractor. Look, they're putting a tractor token on top of it anyway.
The main thing I need to get is more calculators, because there's just been so many more droids around recently, and I've only got like 4 of them at the moment. And Scott keeps insisting on bringing droid swarms. I think he does it to be like, buy more calculate tokens.
I think you're going to buy these calculate tokens, and Scott's going to go, right, what other tokens doesn't he have enough of for this list?
Yeah, pretty much. I think everything else I'm pretty good on, though.
Okay. Oh.
And that's why we use the dice tray there.
This is Anakin shooting?
Anakin shooting, yeah. So hopefully he's going to move those down in a minute, but it looks like
3 hits, maybe?
Yeah, definitely a blank in the middle there. But that's a pretty good shot on Chertek.
Anakin's in a great position. If you don't get damage off of this, then something is very wrong, I think. Oh, I think that was the use of Malice to get a crit.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, though, with Gravitic Deflection and an evade, that's going to help, because while you defend, you may reroll 1 defense die for each tracted ship in the attack arc. And obviously, you are within the attack arc.
I mean, Anakin's getting in at least 2 damage, though, right? Using the Autoblasters and 2 crits.
Oh no, because he's got the 2 evades. Oh, but Autoblasters, yeah, so that should still go through because he can't evade them. So you're right, so there we go, it's 2 damage.
And they stay as crits with Autoblasters, it's not like heavy.
Yes, they stay as crits.
That makes sense. It's a very expensive upgrade.
Yeah, structural damage. I
Yeah.
mean, the efficiency of them is incredible. So we've got a structural damage and I believe that's damage sensor array on the last one. Or it could be descent power regulator, that's what we've got up on the screen. When doing the overlay, they didn't actually say it out loud, and that's one that's quite difficult to actually figure out sometimes. But that's still a pretty good shot there from Anakin. I bet he would have absolutely loved to get at least 1 more crit through, but you know what? You can't blame him for trying it.
He gave it a go. He's got some decent damage in. He landed 2 crits, which Scott's now got to try and deal with, or just put up with, really. So this is Sunfac probably going into Wolffe.
Yeah. So hit crits. So very aggressive card drawing there.
Why isn't he rolling evade dice? Oh right, the tractor token.
Yeah, and that's a blinded pilot on Wolffe.
So no marksmanship. Or what does R4P40 17 do? R4P17. After you fully execute a red maneuver, you can spend 1 charge before an action, even while stressed. So
that would be the target lock that has gone on to Gorgol there.
But then, I mean, you can still use the target lock to fire the ion torpedoes. You just can't currently use it to re-roll the dice.
Yeah. Blinded pilot is a brutal one.
Over to Obi-Wan?
Yeah, Obi-Wan, I anticipate range 2 onto Sunfac.
I don't know, I feel like you'd probably go for DGS, because Sunfac's through a cloud.
Yeah. But he's taken a damage. Oh, it's a crit, in fact.
I think there's a crit onto Sunfac.
There is a crit onto Sunfac.
Okay. I guess if it's range 2, even if it's through the cloud, Autoblasters still goes, no, I still rolled a crit.
Yeah. Have fun with that, mate. That's not bad there. Getting some good damage into...
Yeah, sometimes the nippy little Jedi can lack teeth, but yeah, this Autoblaster combo is mean. I can see why it's currently extended, because there's not much you can do to counter it.
Yeah.
Like once you're being shot by it, you're probably going to take a damage. And not just a damage, a crit damage.
And that, again, there's a lot of ships that don't have shields. So against those sort of ships, so you're looking at most of your basic TIE chassis, a lot of the basic Separatist chassis as well. Getting crit straight through is just so dangerous. And there is the Gravitic Deflection reroll. Scott obviously a little bit frustrated he's having to spend one of his many tokens.
Yeah, crit's also very good for the cargo scenario.
Salvage, because they have to drop. I believe this is Wolffe, so no chance to spend that time. So that first one was Matchstick. Oh,
I mean, that K-turn, as you said, like to get the extra damage, not having to use the rear gun, I think that's going to work out. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, so double reroll to the double tractor. Yeah, ouch.
It's because then it's just I mean, it's a range 1 from Matchstick, but then a range 0 from Broadside, so...
Yeah, so no modifications there.
Gorgol might survive this round.
Yeah.
They're surprisingly evadey, these Nantex.
Oh.
And they hurt.
And that is going...
Who's that into? Well, who was shooting there? That was...
I believe it was DGS going into Anakin. Yeah, it was into Anakin.
Oh, okay.
Two damage onto Anakin there.
Oh, direct hit.
Yeah. Ouch.
Well, the direct hit was the only damage card, though, right?
Yeah, so direct hit was the only damage card, so
still
it was a hit and 2 crits, 2 evades, so just the 1 crit, but it was a direct hit going through. Oh, these Jedi are getting battered. They haven't taken many shots, but that's a lot of damage gone through on them for the hole that they have.
I mean, they are definitely, high risk, high reward ships.
I think that must have been Shurtek shooting.
The Autoblasters, they can do a lot in terms of offense, but sometimes their defense just isn't there.
Yeah. I mean, they've got a lot of evade. They've got the 3 evades, they've got the force, but if you get blanks, not much you can really do about that. Whereas
the Nantex can re-roll into double evades and be fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's just ridiculous. Great, but also ridiculous. And this looks like it's is that an ion cannon turret into the Onderon Oppressor there.
Okay.
So damage and 2 ion tokens. I don't think that's a bad choice. I mean, a range 0 onto Chertek with all those tokens and rerolls, or go into an unmodifiable HMP.
I think the ion is particularly good here because these Y-Wings know... the Onderon Oppressor can bank or go straight, but the Y-Wings have a good idea of where it's going to end up, and they're in a good position to get there.
Yeah, and if Wolffe somehow is still here at the end, it's going to make it really tricky for Sunfac to actually get into a good position, because Wolffe could go into a really nice blocking position there.
Well, actually, Wolffe is kind of in the way of Broadside a little bit.
Yeah, a Broadside is stressed. So, one more damage onto Wolffe. Oh, he could make this.
The Y-Wings both have turrets anyway, so they probably aren't too worried about turning into the fight all the way.
It would just be nice to see those seismic charges get into play.
It can still happen.
Right, now for Gorgol, and
that's pretty good. Has he got anything? Oh, he's got the focus.
Oh no, his arc is in the front. Or did he? Oh, he must have gone for he's gone for a Y-Wing instead.
Okay.
I'm actually surprised about that.
I mean, that's a heck of an attack roll.
That is a great attack roll. And that's onto Matchstick. So that's 3 shields down on Matchstick. I mean, I thought the arc is up, so I'm surprised he didn't try and go into Wolffe and take Wolffe out. Unless he was saving it for DGS, who doesn't have much else to shoot at because of range, which also makes sense. So he could have had Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. What is the crit?
Don't know. There's a lot of cards down there now.
Yeah, that crit is not a direct hit, a wounded pilot. So Wolffe actually does survive that round.
He's not going to be around for much longer, though, I think.
No, he's very much now there just to block.
Do you try and preserve him and fly him away from the fight? Or do you just kind of keep him in the middle and just stay in the way?
I would say keep him in the middle, stay in the way, because unless Scott wants to use Sunfac on him, he'll always get to fire at simultaneous fire, because it's only Sunfac on Scott's side that actually out initiatives him.
Also, actually looking at the positioning, even if Madbots did decide to send Wolffe away from the fight, Chertek's over there probably about to head in that direction as well anyway.
Yeah, true. So it's not a super ideal positioning to be in. But while we wait to see what Scott's first move is of this round, just to remind you guys, if you do like what we're doing here at Out of Arc Gaming, you can support us on Patreon. The link is in the description below. It gives you access to our Discord where you can actually talk to us about any games you're playing, any games we've got coming up. You can obviously make suggestions about what you'd like to see on the channel. If you actually go for our top tier, you can actually tell us what to fly on the channel. And we've had some interesting lists on the channel. And if you want to make us fly something completely ridiculous, that's a great way of doing it. But the link is in the description below.
So DGS decides, you know what, I'm just going to go over the debris.
Yeah. Did we see him roll for damage?
Feels like a bad decision, but with the position he's ended up in, and he's still reasonably healthy, yeah, I guess so.
I think as well, it's not just his position, it's the other ship's position as well. Obviously, the Onderon Oppressor and Sunfac were not in a great position for him to go the other way. He would have just bumped into Sunfac again. And I think at that point, Sunfac would start to get very annoyed with him.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Both of your ships want to go for that same position on the board. It's like, well, which one do I actually want there more?
Yeah. Gorgol did the 3 bank there, right?
Looks like it, yeah.
Curious as to why he's got stress, because that's actually a blue maneuver.
Maybe forgot about the upgrade. Or is it normally blue?
It's normally blue.
Oh, I don't know. Could just be missed.
Oh no, he had 2 stress. That's why.
No,
Sorry,
yeah.
he had 2 stress last turn, so that's why he remained stressed.
He's doing what he can to get rid of stress, but he can't get rid of all of it.
Yeah, he doesn't have Porcella.
No, not everyone does. I mean, I think that's the best place to go with the ionized Oppressor. I think anything else would have bumped into Wolffe. At least this way you can get a focus.
And calculate with the...
Also, yeah. Also, I guess you would still be able to get the calculate, but you'd also take a stress.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is the best option, because he clears it and he actually sort of leaves himself a bit more open next turn. Where he's a bit closer to Sunfac, it gives Sunfac a little bit of potential more room to move into. I mean, Wolffe is obviously going to have to move, so Sunfac could be coming down back towards Scott's board edge, knowing that that'll be a clear run, which would be quite nice. It would set him up quite well for...
Oh, and he's getting away. With all of the objectives and obstacles down this end of the board, it is a much more, I guess, dense game is probably the best way to word it.
I mean, the Jedi and Sunfac are the only ones that have really gone to outfield as such. So,
and they immediately turn towards the fight anyway. Like, there's a third of the board not being used.
Yeah. Which is just interesting to see. It's not often nowadays that you get a lot of action all happening right in that spot, because most of the time there are objectives further out.
Yeah, it's interesting that this is the layout we've got. And actually, speaking of the objectives, Scott still has 2 of them, which is gradually giving him a lead.
Yeah, it's 2-4 at the moment in Scott's favour, so...
I wonder if Madbots is thinking maybe I'll send Broadside around to grab that lower right objective.
I don't see that as a bad option, to be honest. He's got his turret already pointed to ship left, so if he did do a hard manoeuvre up there and took that objective, he can still ionize towards the middle of the board. Chancellor and Gorgol going off for a little meeting there to decide what to do next.
The worrying thing for Madbots is that his Jedi are actually wounded, particularly Anakin.
Yeah. Well, Anakin is in a scary position.
5 points each?
Yes, they're very expensive. I believe. Yeah, 5 points each.
And Wolffe is also on 1 health, so there's a good chance of a big swing in points in Scott's favour here.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, Sunfac's lost 1 health. Chertek is pretty injured. He's got 2 crits and he's on half health, but the others are reasonably healthy.
Yeah, and Chertek's got the structural damage as well. I mean, if...
Oh, true, and if he can't get rid of his own tractor beam, he's in a lot of trouble. Oh, looks like rewinding the tractor beam?
Yeah. Deciding against the tractor beam there. Interesting. It's not the worst option, because now he's not -1 agility.
Yeah,
he also has an obstacle.
It's a case of like, oh, maybe I should take a step back. Like, I've got this ability. I could do the ability. It's like, well, you don't always have to. Oh, going over that debris has bumped Obi-Wan. That seems worth it.
Yeah. I still think, though, take the stress focus, because he's got a great bullseye shot into the Onderon, or potentially he's got a nice autoblaster shot into Sunfac if Sunfac can't get in the way. Anakin is really just going, I do not want Chertek to live. And Chertek is 4 points. So looking at the board state at the moment, there's a potential of 9 points that Scott can get without objectives, and 4 points that Madbots can get.
Has Madbots missed Anakin's ability triggering for Obi-Wan?
Because of the range 0 to the range 0 to 3 of Anakin's ability.
Yeah, because then it's if there's more enemy ships than Obi-Wan after he's done a maneuver. Spin the Force, if you do that ship, i.e. Obi-Wan, removes 1 red token. So
yeah.
Although no, it's the timing of it, isn't it? You remove the red token after the maneuver is done, but not after the action is done. So the stress focus that Obi-Wan has came in after the window for Anakin's ability.
There we go. There's that like non-side slip way of doing it. That's actually brilliant from Sunfac. He has got right into that little gap there.
He really started off, and we're only on turn 4. He has got across the board.
Yeah, I mean the Nantex. The Nantex have like a really quick dial. I mean they've got 2 through 5 on the straights, and then they've got all of the banks and all of the hards. I mean, they have the white 1 hard.
A 1 hard is very good. A white 1 hard is excellent. There aren't many ships with a blue 1 hard.
The TIE Advanced V1, the Inquisitor TIE, I think is the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
It's very rare. For good reason. It's a very good thing to have on a dial.
And that, I think, that would be Anakin going into Chertek there.
He's got a good chance of taking that out, especially since I think... Actually, which way is Chertek's turret pointing?
Chertek's turret is pointing to the right. He can't put it in the rear.
Yeah, my first thought was, is it pointing backwards? But no, it's... Okay, so Anakin's safe from that at least.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's a lot of evade. Should he have that many of them?
Through? Could be a mistake for getting about the crit.
Yeah, so 3...
It's a shame, because the crit token is right there as a reminder. But there's only so much reminding that can be done.
I'm just having a quick look at Chertek. Yeah, I think he rolled too many dice there, unfortunately.
Oh well.
But it was a damage sensor array.
So now we've got Sunfac probably going for Anakin.
Yeah, his arc is to the right, so... It's only 2 dice with the arc, but with the turret arc, but then again, Sunfac is just rude. Defender isn't tractor, so it doesn't get an additional die there.
And only the 1 hit.
1 could do it. Not with that evade.
I mean, you'd need all blanks on that.
Yeah.
Anakin has the Force. And now, Obi-Wan, yep, I think looks like he's going for Sunfac.
Yeah. Spending R7A7 to get that crit through on Sunfac.
And it guarantees damage.
Yeah.
So even with that, you can't dodge that crit.
I mean, there's almost no point actually rolling evade dice in that sense. Other than just, you like rolling dice.
I mean, it's still worth doing just to stay in the rhythm of that's how attacks happen. Also, maybe you have ability where you can use evade dice to do stuff.
Yeah, true.
Like if you've
got a console fire on Sunfac, by the way.
Oh, okay. That could be pretty nasty because they don't have a lot of hull.
No, and he's only got 2 left. So I'm just having. So it looks like we're going to have. I think it's going to be Wolffe into Yeah,
Probably
one.
Sunfac.
No, I think I. It's
Because you're touching the Oppressor, so it's not.
yeah.
Definitely
There we go. Range 1 into Sunfac.
Because, I mean, who's the other target down there? Gorgol? Between those two, I'd try and take out Sunfac.
Yeah, he's more dangerous, and he is actually 5 points as opposed to
He's
4.
more points, he's high initiative, he's a big target.
But he got all the evades.
Which is just crazy.
Also,
then again, it wasn't a super strong attack, I guess, at the end.
No, and it would have been. It was more dice versus less evades as well, because although Chertek's got the structural damage, it's going to be range 3. No, probably range 2, but it's also obstructed, and he doesn't have the tractor, so it'll be 3v3. Whereas the range 1 onto Sunfac with that tractor is.
I work out if Matchstick can use the ion cannon or has to use primary guns to shoot at the Onderon Oppressor. I mean, that's definitely what the shot is going to be. We'll have to see how many dice are rolled to see what gun is being used. I mean, if it's straight down the line and covers both, I suppose Madbots can choose.
And I think if I had the choice, I'd go.
Well, it looks like you're making the decision.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, me. He's a handsome guy, isn't he?
Get out of the way, Wolffe. Yeah, the laser's good, but sometimes you do just have to use the plastic for that hard line.
Yeah, I used to use the laser all the time, but I just found that it was so shaky. I mean, I know some people have like a little tripod for it to put it on, which is fine. But I feel that just getting the actual range ruler out and lining up is just...
You sometimes go, oh, I'll just get the laser out. You end up going, you know what, we'll just move the stuff out of the way and use the plastic anyway.
Yeah.
Just to be sure. So I've never had one.
I mean, if I had that little tripod thing, maybe. But again, I just think that getting the template out is just much cleaner. Yes, you've got to move ships out of the way, which is a bit of a pain, but... So it looks like... I don't know, maybe the turret was actually not in the right arc either to get the Onderon, but that's Broadside, I believe.
I mean, if it's 3 dice, then that should be the ion cannon, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, there's the ion token.
There is an ion.
So, actually, not the best place to be ionized.
No, because it's
right,
the case
you're gonna bump into the back of Sunfac, or
go over the...
You're probably gonna land on the cloud.
Yeah, you would. You'd land on it. You wouldn't clear it, which means you're not shooting next turn.
So you bump into Sunfac just so you can maybe shoot something.
Yeah.
Who's left? Who we still got?
We've still got Gorgol and the 2 HMPs left to shoot.
I'm Broadside?
I'm pretty sure that was...
I thought that was Matchstick.
No, I think Matchstick's arc his turret arc is also in the front.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I think
so try and
we've
finish off Anakin. Sensible.
Yeah, you could try to finish off Anakin. I mean, that's 3 evades with focus and the Force. Or you've got Matchstick.
I was going to say, or do you try and double into Obi-Wan, but actually DGS is touching Obi-Wan, so having both of your bombers shooting at Anakin is probably the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, he's a lot of points.
And he's on 1 health. And he's only got 1 token and 2 force.
Yeah, you've got 3 ships that can go into him as well.
That might be... There's a lot of tie rocks down there. Are we doing something with them?
They're all on Matchstick. So because of Matchstick's ability, they're all of the Republic target locks Matchstick.
Let's see what I can get in Matchstick. When you perform a primary or turret attack, you can reroll... No, what? Or is it just a case of Scott has target locked him a lot?
Again, there's 1 target lock from Scott and 3 from the Republic there. So while you perform a primary or turret attack, you may reroll 1 attack die for each red token you have, and obviously a lock counts as a red token.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Take your
an
word for
interesting one.
Maybe I should repaint my dialogue tokens. They're currently white.
Mine are red acrylic. And that is Wolffe down.
I mean, I was going to be very surprised if he survived the round.
Yeah. I mean, it's 4 points and it's a gun off the table as well. So I know that obviously Anakin's worth more, but yeah, get rid of Wolffe.
Although he's now no longer in the way of these Y-Wings.
True.
I do feel like Madbots needs to get some kills at this point, or maybe start grabbing a couple of objectives here and there.
I think definitely if he can get Broadside to grab that bottom right objective, that's going to be key. And again, he's got 3 kills that he could potentially be getting.
Right, he's done a lot of damage, but it's all just for enough that Scott is still on all of his ships.
Yeah. I mean, Chertek is the obvious option with 1 health, a structural damage as well. You want to get him down. Sunfac obviously he's only got 2 health and he's a 5-point ship, so
yeah, so you want to go for Sunfac, you'll be happy to take out Chertek, but the others, yeah.
HMP is going to be tough because they've still got a lot of health.
I mean, I can understand Madbots wanting to focus down the Nantex. They are less health, but similar points. They are annoying.
They're quite efficient as well.
Yeah.
It's the efficiency of them that I think makes them quite frustrating.
Scott very much focusing on the Jedi and previously Wolffe. I wonder if he's going to sort of ignore the Y-Wings a little bit and really focus on the Jedi for now.
I mean, again, looking at the state of the ships, if he can keep DGS going in after Anakin, and that could be quite good. Gorgol could get in a nice position to block Anakin as well. Again, he's 5 points. Matchstick is actually quite low on health as well. So there is another potential one there. It's all going to come down to very much shot priority. Like, Madbots needs to look at what the big danger pieces are there.
Anakin has a good shot on, say, Gorgol, but he could try and take out Chertek before Chertek fires before Broadside kind of thing, and that might help out. It's very much working out the turn order and the best order to shoot your targets.
Exactly. And I think that is really powerful because regardless of what happens, if Sunfac has a shot, he is shooting because of simultaneous fire. So it doesn't matter when you take Sunfac out. But if he can take out Chertek, then Gorgol, that's going to be more powerful because if between Anakin and Obi-Wan they can take out Chertek and potentially do more damage on Gorgol, and then say Matchstick can finish off Gorgol, then that's 2 shots that Scott is not going to get in the next shooting phase.
And that side slip was that a side slip or was that just a regular move actually? Because that was a turn. I think it has to just be a bank, doesn't it?
That it can be a hard turn.
Oh, it can be. Okay.
Yeah, bank or hard turn.
I wasn't sure if he was doing the hard turn or if it was a side slip, and he was just sort of doing the other way of doing the hard turn.
So you don't have to mark the ship up. It's
either way. He's ended up there. He's gone past Obi-Wan. He's good.
In any other game, you would know for definite that it's not a side slip, but with the HMP, you're just never sure. But there we go. There's Broadside getting that objective. Smart play there from Madbots. He's in quite a large deficit, 3 points to 10. So if he can take an objective away, that's always going to be a good choice.
Broadside's in a position where he's not too worried about getting shot. He's very healthy. He's away from the fight. There at the start of the turn, at least, no guns pointing at him. Scott deciding, no, I'm just going to go over the cloud, which is interesting because he hasn't cleared it. He's still on it.
Yeah. He was never going to clear it, which means he's not going to get a shot. He's not ionized though, which is
he's not. I'm
lucky.
just wondering why you don't. Well, I guess self bump might damage as well, but you still get a shot.
Yeah, I would have felt the self bump into some fact. You've got a 180 arc.
Especially with how much health the Onderon Oppressor has, right?
Yeah, he's still got a shield. He's still got a shield left.
And with the position that he's in, that back corner is not obstructed by the cloud.
Yeah.
So now Matchstick comes in for a pretty good shot if he wants to take. There might end up being a better target.
There might. So that's what. Okay, we know where Gorgol's going to be. Where Chertek ends up now is going to be very important.
I was thinking more Sunfac, really, because Chertek's going to get out of the way. I feel like Sunfac is probably going to end up roughly where Chertek is.
Yeah. Oh. That's a bump the other way.
Bump, yeah. We nearly had everyone coming into Sunfac.
Yeah, does Chertek kill himself? He does.
Oh.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That is
unfortunate.
Yeah.
What? I wonder if he just didn't think about it or what.
Maybe he thought it was going to go a bit further across. I think a bank would have been better.
Didn't quite eyeball the final position, right?
Yeah.
Push your one health and just to do something like that.
That is very unfortunate. I mean, it makes things a little bit easier for Madbots now because now the shot priority has to be Gorgol, really.
Unless you have a really good shot with Sunfac, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. If you've got a good shot against Sunfac, then take that.
Unless you shoot Gorgol to deny Gorgol a good shot.
Yeah. It's a tough one, and no, that's not a great place for Obi-Wan. He's gone too far forward there. He didn't bump, but I don't think he's gonna be able to boost round.
No, and he's in the arc of.
He is in the arc of DGS.
No, I think he's out of the Onderon.
It wouldn't matter if he's in the Onderon anyway. Onderon can't shoot, so.
Right, yeah, he's on a cloud.
Did Anakin go?
Ooh.
Is this a K? It's a K. I like it. And that means he's now not in Gorgol's arc, because Gorgol's arc is to the right.
Not. And he's got range 1, bullseye, malice, marksmanship.
Yeah.
All could quite easily go down. But
yeah,
we haven't seen where Sunfac ends up. And we know that DGS has a shot on Anakin. So Anakin still might not make it through the round.
Yeah. But then as well, spending Obi-Wan's force to give Anakin a focus as well. So, I mean, the great thing here is for Anakin is that it doesn't matter where Sunfac actually ends up because he's going to be able to shoot because of the range 1, because of the initiative match. So they're both of them, as long as they've got a target, are going to be able to shoot. I think one of the downside, like Anakin could potentially take Gorgol straight off the table here, which would be amazing for Madbots. You do potentially have Matchstick that can support if needed. Yeah, Sunfac has just got out of Obi-Wan's arc there. Does he? He's got to do the pinpoint tractor array and go towards Anakin, right?
Does that help him though?
It moves the arc across and gives him
rotate the gun. If so, then yeah.
It allows him to rotate the gun and gives him 2 shots at Anakin with DGS and
Sunfac.
Oh no, he's leaving the arc there. I think he's going to try and
go for Obi-Wan.
Maybe see if he can go for Obi-Wan.
Okay, looks like we're entering range from Anakin. I wonder if Madbots is trying to work out if he wants to shoot Sunfac. Although there's some pointing at cards. No.
So checking for ensnare there.
Oh, okay.
Which could be handy if DGS decides to go into Obi-Wan. It's a range 1. So ensnare does trigger, so that's 1 less. Now, with the rotate, Scott has to move Obi-Wan for the rotate to be able to be done. So if he leaves Obi-Wan where he is, Obi-Wan can't rotate, which is a shame because a 90-degree turn for Obi-Wan would have been beautiful.
I think that's the sensible choice by Scott, though. So despite Anakin having such a good shot against Gorgol, I wonder if he is going to go for Sunfac.
He is going for Sunfac. I don't like it. I would have gone for that range 1 bullseye against Gorgol and taken Gorgol out.
Got 1 crit, which I guess if you land the crit and the console fire triggers, then Sunfac down. He's got an evade token, but the crit will go through.
Yeah. So he's going to try the reroll. So he's going to have to spend the evade. So what?
I mean, if it's
what is the crit?
Weapon damage, then it is weapons failure.
Weapons failure. That is the.
I mean,
that is the only thing worse than him getting a direct hit at that point.
He's still got to roll for the console fire, though, right?
Yeah, he's still got to roll for console fire.
Might take him out before he gets to shoot with even less guns.
Yeah. It would only. I think it was. Oh, has he missed the console fire there?
Or maybe he fixed it and we didn't notice.
No, the console fire is still up. I don't think he rolled for console fire there.
Oh well.
Ending the force for the evade there.
Damage went through there, did it?
No damage went through on Obi-Wan. He does have 0 force right now, but he does have a focus and an evade, so he's not without some defensive mods.
He basically has a force. There's only 1 other ship that can shoot him this turn anyway.
Yeah. I'm still very surprised. I think if it was me, I'd have gone into Anakin, but range 1 from Matchstick into.
If it's range 1, I think that's into the Onderon, right?
The Oppressor, yeah. So that's 4.
And the very least,
yeah.
Good damage. Yeah, 3 damage.
3 damage going through. That's not bad. Maybe I would have gone for Sunfac, but then again, it would have been 4 evades because of the cloud.
Yeah, I think I agree.
There was an ion there, actually.
Oh. Okay.
Interesting.
Has that ship been ionized 3 turns? No, it's 2 turns in a row at the moment. The other one got ionized earlier, didn't it?
Yeah. So DGS has been ionized and Onderon has been ionized twice.
I guess for every tractor token that Scott hands out, Madbots has an ion waiting for him.
Yeah. Ion on an Antex is great if he can get it, because it really shuts down everything that Antex can do.
Right, because they don't get to do their tractor beam stuff, do they?
They don't get to do the pinpoint tractor array.
Which is kind of the whole point of taking them.
Yeah, that's not a great shot there.
No, that's terrible.
So the calculate, he's got the focus, he's got the evade, so...
Evade, yeah.
Right, well, counting up the points there, at the end of turn 5, it's 9 points to 11.
Pretty even.
Now while this wasn't a timed game, other games around this game were finishing, so try and make sure that this one didn't go on forever. They actually did decide to call it at this point, so Scott does get the win there with 11 points to 9. It's basically a 75-minute game. Very, very close there. A couple of dice rolls either way could have swung it so easily.
Points, we didn't technically get to the end of the game. It's pretty even. Both players have healthy-ish ships, some damaged ships. That could go either way. In the comments, if this had not gone to any kind of timer, who do you think would have won? Let us know.
Yeah. Absolutely, it'd be interesting to see, and maybe we can get them back on the table one day to have a rematch and see if we can get to that conclusion. But it was really nice to see the Nantex and the HMPs back on the board, to be honest, because we don't see them enough, and they're an interesting ship that both of them interesting ships that have different abilities that are just not really represented that strongly. So it's nice to actually see them on the board. So thank you to both Madbots and Scott for agreeing to be recorded for this. Well done to Scott there for getting that win in there. Those early objective tokens really did help. James, I again hope that once again you enjoyed seeing some Clone Wars era action.
Yeah, that was great.
And thank you very much for joining us. And guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Obviously, we've got more content coming up. As I said, if you do like what we're doing, the Patreon link is in the description. If you want to pick up an Out of Arc t-shirt or a Flight Academy t-shirt, we also have a link in the description for those as well. It'd be really great to maybe bump into you one day wearing an Out of Arc t-shirt. But in the meantime, guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.